Cat Black here. Definitions of safety. Black nationalist versus white nationalist. As an old school brother, my definition of safety differs from the more contemporary BLM style. To me, a murderer, rapist, carjacker, armed robber, burglar, or assailant who runs around hitting people for no discernible reason, should he or she be a member of the community, is a traitor to the community, not a victim of immutable forces beyond his or her control, though I'll at least entertain mitigating circumstances. But at the end of the day, when you commit violent and property crime against your own community, you've betrayed it. And those on high, the black faces in high places, who excuse it, who enable it, they also are committing betrayal. Now, this definition differs from the white nationalist version of safety, under which many of us have grown. Definitely I have, as a Generation Malcolm Xer, that conscious percentage of the Generation X era. White nationalist safety is every black person who steps outside of his house is a suspect until proven otherwise, maybe. The slave patrols that the left talks about, the Bull Connor type of brutality, the collusion between law enforcement and vigilantes that we saw in the murder of Cheney, Schwerner, and Goodman, which was depicted in the Mississippi Burning movie, among others. I would also contend the rabid support for individuals like George Zimmerman or Daniel Penny. That's your white nationalist version of safety. And as a Generation Malcolm Xer, I got to see the first live action videotape version of white nationalist safety when Rodney King was tased and almost beaten within an inch of his life. This is non-ideological in regard to, my saying so, as some cluxer scratching his pointy head is probably saying. If he's saying this, he must be a Democrat. No, not a Democrat. As beloved ancestor Malcolm X said, a Democrat is a Dixiecrat and a Dixiecrat is a Democrat. All they do now is instead of Klan robes, they wear tie-dye, but that's another conversation for another time. The black nationalist version of safety says that everybody within a black space, a majority black institution or community, deserves safety because our version of a society must be better than the version against which we have struggled. So I don't make excuses for black criminals, but unlike a white nationalist, I do not then falsely conclude that all black men are criminals. Think about the fallacy. If a brother stops a carjacking, none of these white nationalists say, oh man, that's great. That's representative of all black men. If a brother commits a carjacking, they're quick to say, see, that's representative of the demonic 13% of the population. We've got to be very careful as we create safety in this particular society. Too many of my sisters and brothers who have embraced the left vision, the left side of the big house, the left side of the political plantation, because of the outright anti-blackness of the right, fail to understand that a paternalistic white ideology that enables and encourages destructive behavior among criminals in your community, violent traitors within your community, I would say, is not your ally. The white nationalist definition of safety is always combing headlines and timelines, looking for video and or stories of black criminals, because that supports their assertion that because of our chromosomes or our culture, we are all criminals and should all feel the 21st century version of the lash. Stop and frisk, shoot and say halt, however the pointy heads deem. So as we define safety, I recommend the black nationalist version, the old school black nationalist version, the version that beloved ancestors like Malcolm X, Huey P. Newton, and other figures and formations have shown us. We must create safety for ourselves that preserves our lives, our property, our dignity. That's the challenge of safety. Black nationalist versus white nationalist.